how sweet it is to be loved by you. Needed some shelter, someone's arms, and there you were. Needed someone to understand my ups and downs, and there you were. Sweet love and devotion, sweetly touching my emotions. I just wanna stop, thank you, baby. I just wanna stop, thank you, baby. How sweet it is to be loved by you. Hey guys, so we're gonna do How Sweet It Is to Be Loved by You. There's obviously the Marvin Gaye version, there's the James Taylor version. Whatever version you want to play, it's pretty much the same. I shouldn't say that though, some people get real adamant about what the best version is, but either way, doesn't matter. Whatever version you want to play, you can play. So, let's get into this song. I'm going to do this song in the key of B flat. To be completely honest with you, I don't think that's the key that it is done in the Marvin Gaye version or the James Taylor version. Let me know below. I think it's in C. I just find it tremendously easier to sing in B flat. I am not a singer. I am a guitar player who happens to sing, and so, you know, do with that what you will. So, anyways, we're going to learn it in B flat, but you can take these chords and you can transpose them however you want to on the neck, and so you'll be good to go. Alright, so here we go. We'll start with, I know the original flow of the song is to do the chorus and then into the verse, but we're going to do it verse, pre-chorus, chorus, because once you get that, you got the whole song. Then I'm going to show you some licks that you can throw in there to play on the guitar as well. Alright, so let's start with the verses, okay? So it starts with I needed the shelter of someone's arms, right? So it's needed the shelter of someone's arms, and there you were. Well, like any great song, it's just 4 chords, okay? That's not true. There's a lot of good songs that aren't 4 chords. This one just happens to be. So here we go. You're going to start with a B flat. Now, I do this to play my B flat. It allows me to put my pinky down. So what that is you're going to wrap around with your thumb, and you're going to grab the 6th fret of the low E string. You're going to skip the A string. Then you're going to put your ring finger down on the 8th fret of the D. Your middle finger is going to go on the 7th fret of the G, and then your pointer finger is going to bar the B and the high E on the 6th. So that's a B flat. I've said this all week in my videos because I do them all on the same day. I apologize for the outside noise. Our neighbors are cutting the grass. It's a nice day in the south, which does not happen in August very often, so people are taking advantage. And good on them. But anyways, so that's what that is. If you hear that in the background, I apologize. So that's your B flat. Then you're gonna do a G minor, or G minor 7th, I guess in this case. Now you could do a regular bar chord, totally fine. I do this just so I can may throw in some licks if I'm feeling it. So what you're gonna do is you can use your thumb. You're gonna grab that low E string on the 3rd fret, and then you're gonna use your ring finger to bar from the D all the way down to the high E of the 3rd fret, and then your ring finger is going to go on the 5th fret of the D string. And the reason I like to do that, you don't really play the A string. Technically you could, but we're not doing that. Anyways, the reason I like to do that is because then you can hammer on to that D string. Then you can also do some playing around with hammering on to from the 3rd to the 5th of the G string as well. And if you got this shape, it's very easy. Alright? And then you're going to do a regular F chord. So you should know an F chord, but it's the same shape as we did with the B flat, but it's all the way up here at the 1st fret. It's an F chord. And then the last chord that you're going to play in a verse is an E flat 9. So what that is you're going to do your middle finger on the A string, 6th fret. Pointer finger is going to go on the 5th fret of the D string. Then you got both your ring and your middle finger are going to take the 6th fret of the G string and the B string. So it's kind of a clump there, but that's it. Okay, so that's the chorus. One thing I did on the F there, you saw, is just threw that pinky down. You can always do that when you do your chords like this. You can throw the pinky down when it would be 1 fret up from wherever your middle finger is. So your middle finger is on the G string, it's always on the G string. So you can do that on the B flat rather, or the F. Okay, so then we're gonna get to the pre-chorus. So it's, you brighten up all my days, all your love in so many ways. It's only 2 chords, but I'm gonna show you this little kind of Jimi Hendrix thing that you can do here. So it's your B flat, now and then it's an E flat. But rather than doing the E flat 9, you're gonna do a major. Now to be honest with you, because I don't really stay on it very long because I'm gonna do this, you can do your regular E flat. But another way you could do it is just do kind of a power chord. And on your right hand, you're just gonna pluck the A, D, and G strings. And then you're just gonna do the 6th fret of the A string. And then down here on the 8th fret, you're gonna do the 8th fret of the D string and the 8th fret of the G string. So it's gonna look like that. Then you're gonna do this little Jimi Hendrix run. What that is you're gonna bar the 8th fret of the A, D, and G strings. Yep. Pluck those with your right hand. And then you're gonna hammer on to the 10th fret of the A string and hammer on to the 10th fret of the D string. Just kind of play around with that. It really doesn't matter as long as you're hitting those notes. You can make it sound good. So it'd be a Alright, so that's the pre-chorus. Chorus is pretty simple. It's just 4 chords. It's adding just one more chord that we don't already know. And so we've got an E flat. Now I'm going to play it all the way up here for the chorus. It's all the way up here at the 11th fret. So it's the same thing as a B flat, but you're going to go all the way up to the 11th fret here. So it looks like that. And then you're going to play a C minor. That's the only one we haven't played yet. And a C minor is the same thing that you did with that shape with the G minor, but you're going to do it all the way up here at the 8th fret. So it's E flat, C minor, F, B flat. Now let me show you something at the end. So you do that once. How sweet it is to be loved by you. This is where you can play a really cool thing here. So if you know the relative pentatonics, which I may have to do a lesson on that because I think that's helpful. This would be, I'm just going to call it, I know it's a B major pentatonic, we're going to call it G minor, so that's kind of more helpful for people. If you know that, you can throw some of those licks in there. Before you go back. How sweet it is to be loved by you. So that's a pretty easy one. Let me just do that one right there. So that's, you're going to hammer on from the 3rd fret to the 5th fret of the D string. Then you're going to play the 3rd fret of the G string. Then you're going to play the 5th fret of the G string and slide up to the 7th. Grab the 6th fret of the B. Hammer on to the 8th fret of the B. 6th fret of the B, and slide from the 7th of the B down to the 5th of the G. I'm sorry. That would be the 7th of the G, down to the 5th of the G. And you can just keep playing. So there's just some cool licks you can add in the middle of it if you so choose. Alright, so that's How Sweet It Is to Be Loved by You, Marvin Gaye, James Taylor, and many others. So I hope you enjoy it, and let me know in the comments below.